Shane, I'll start with you. You put this up on our chat, obviously an Instagram post. You got us a lot of interesting Instagram posts over a few months here on Zoom. But this is something that we've had debate on for a few months about Lamar Jackson and his rush attempts, and how much of an injury concern is it for him that he's rushing and not taking as much slides as this picture shows. But kind of clarified the point that you and Brandon have continued to discuss over the last few months.
I mean, he just seems kind of careless when he runs with the ball. I mean, he's taking all kinds of hits from big guys that he really should not be taking at all, because he's not a huge guy. I mean, I don't know if he keeps up with that. I mean, honestly, I don't think he's gonna stay healthy. I mean, I hope that's not the case, obviously, but it's just like, I don't know. You look at guys like RG3, for instance, who just run around like that, and look what happened to him. I don't know. It worries me. He doesn't have an injury history yet that I know of. But guys in the NFL, from college or whatever, but guys in the NFL are a lot bigger and stronger. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that there's going to be a guy like, TJ Watt within his own division who are like, well, we want to win the division, so sorry, but I'm going to go for your knee or something. And, I mean, even if no one's actually saying it, some people are thinking it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Brandon, with all the focus on quarterback health and safety, and obviously it's been a huge concern over the last 3 years, obviously it doesn't entirely exclude Lamar, because obviously, Lamar needs to protect himself. But do you think this is something that they should put much more of a focus on, not only the Ravens but the coaching staff, on trying to get him to slide more and protect himself more for long-term health?
Well, yeah. I would say, for example, look at Russell Wilson, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he first started playing, he slid, but he didn't slide nearly as much as he does now. And even then, when he did slide, he slid a lot when he first started, but a lot of his sliding was he would, get right up to the guy who was coming at him and then slide. So he's now started saving himself, basically. There were times that I've seen him get smacked because he slid late. And I remember thinking, man, Russell, you're so talented, but you gotta realize what's important here. And now he's definitely started sliding earlier, and I believe part of that I believe part of that is conversations with Pete Carroll going yo, you're the golden goose for this team. If you get hurt, this team doesn't operate. Lamar Jackson, he needs to realize that he's not invincible. He's young, he's a good player, but to rush 352 times and to only slide twice, I'm telling you, one of these days, we're going to watch a game, he's going to be running, not see the guy coming across the field, and just get his clock rung. Because there were 2 or 3 times this season where I saw Lamar take off running. I was like, oh man, he was doing his going out of bounds thing, and there was a guy literally a foot away from just destroying him. The body is not built to take unprotected hits. And he does a good job now of getting out of bounds. But it only takes one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you feel like as time goes on, as you talk about with Russell Wilson early in his career, obviously Lamar is going into what would this be? What, his third season now? Do you think as time goes on, he'll start to realize that more often, similar to Russell Wilson from early his career to late?
yeah, I think Russell, I mean, I would say that he's changed up his style a bit. He doesn't. I would argue that he's not a really a running quarterback that much anymore. Like last season, I would argue that he became sort of a pocket passer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because it's like he developed his arm. Now that his arm is developed, I would say his arm is more deadly than his ability to run.
And Shane, this is something that you and I have discussed, or we pretty much all discuss very often, is how much these quarterbacks, when they get in the league, they start kind of running, and then over time, they really develop a really lethal passing game. And that kind of becomes their MO, not as much their running as they go through their careers.
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely, I think last year we definitely saw Lamar improve a lot as the year went on with his throwing ability, making a lot of really good deep balls and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for him. But it's just because I've seen tapes of him in high school, and he's been playing exactly like this for years and years and years. And so when you have a guy playing like that their whole life, it's very hard to just all of a sudden stop and change your habit. You know what I mean? It's not impossible, but it's really hard. And yeah, he might start running less, but does that mean he's going to slide more? I don't know. Maybe. History would tell us probably not, just from what I've seen of him. But I don't know. I mean, I think he needs to in order to, last longer. Because even if he doesn't get injured, as time goes on, he's just gonna slowly get kind of beat up, and he's gonna be less athletic.
Cam Newton's a good example of that, I think.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope he learns and, gets smarter about that as time goes on, but we'll see.
An interesting article or an interesting tidbit from offensive coordinator Greg Roman about wide receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown. He said he had a great offseason physically. Hollywood has basically said how he really wants to become a much better receiver, and he thinks he can definitely be a key for this team to hopefully get to a Super Bowl next year, at least for their sake in Baltimore. How important will Hollywood be to Lamar's success as time goes on, especially next year? Brandon, you go first.
I don't know. Again, like a lot of these players, I don't buy it until I see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't say a movie is best picture worthy until you've watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a player being like the best until I've seen him play.
Especially for a guy like Hollywood who wasn't tremendously productive last year. Shane, do you have the same sentiment?
Yeah, I mean, I think he could be good just because, because I think Baltimore is a good organization with, a good trajectory. But I mean, it's kind of I think it's kind of, I think it's a bit early in the game to be able to tell just how valuable he is. I mean, I think we just haven't seen enough of him, really. Because he is young, obviously. And, this is a very, this is a very, let's just be honest, it's a run center team, right? So, I don't know. I mean, I get what he's saying, obviously, because we all want to be the best at whatever it is we're doing. But yeah, I mean, I want to see like a whole season with Lamar passing more developed as a passer, which I think we'll probably get this year. So that should be fun. But yeah.
Brandon, who's your X factor for this Baltimore Ravens squad?
I'm gonna go with
There's a lot of good options for this team.
I don't know, maybe Marquise Brown. Because I mean, like, if he becomes really good, I would argue this team is like unfair. Because like, they were really good last year, and arguably they were like, I don't know. I feel like the only thing this team needs is to learn how to finish. Because like in the they can't, for some reason,
the playoffs.
They just don't do well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're like the Saints of the AFC.
Yeah.
In some way, yeah. Shane, who's your X factor?
I mean, for me, it's the obvious choice, Lamar Jackson. Just because, we've never seen a guy like this at quarterback who is so versatile. I mean, he has the speed of a running back. And, usually when you have a quarterback like that, it's a guy like Jalen Hurts who is a good runner, but not necessarily the best passer. But Lamar is a good passer as well. I think he works really well for this team because he kind of drives their run game and pass game. And, I mean, he definitely is a nightmare for defenses. So he's my guy. But there are a ton of good choices.
Yeah. My choice is a little out of the box. It's Patrick Queen, the rookie linebacker. I think that he fits this organization perfectly. This is a defensive-centric team, and to have a guy in the middle as fast as Patrick Queen is, as athletic as he is, that can only make this defense better. It's a very veteran defense, but it's a very excellent defense in so many different perspectives. Patrick Queen will develop very quickly in the system, as pretty much every defensive player does with Baltimore. But I think Patrick Queen's going to be a key right there in the middle of the field, kind of controlling everything there.